so proud to stand here and to talk to you as the first chairman of the Berkeley Middle East Investors Club. The history of this club is actually going back to the Berkeley Middle East Investment Forum, which since decades already was a vehicle to organize and implement some different investments all over the planet. It was an enormous success, and we have been approached by many different countries and individuals. So the vision of the club is clear. We want to bring all those elements, all those factors together which are important to have a successful investment business. That's, of course, on one hand, the investors, the one who has the money, who has is even happy to invest money somewhere. And on the other side, an investee, someone who needs the money and can show attractive projects to invest in. And in between these two ends are a lot of specialists needed to make it a successful project. We need those professionals who are here to implement. We have the advisors who know exactly what is needed in different countries in order to have a successful implementation. We have organized a lot of expert committees who can, in different directions of the industry, be it in agriculture, be it in mining, be it in infrastructure, be it in even hospitality or healthcare, who come along with a huge and long expertise in this environment, who can advise what to do that is going to be a successful.
We have created this club based on a need that a lot of projects were finding investments, and a lot of investors are finding for projects. I feel there's no appropriate platform which is creating a link between an investor and a project with special focus on alternative investments. That's why we pool the experts of investment industry, and we pool up investors who are categorized as millionaire, billionaire, and some are huge size, some are small size investors, and we create a community in the shape of this investment club. This club focuses on bringing value in investment industry. Our focus is always to help the governments and the private organizations to raise capital, to secure some projects and deliver a better value to the investment industry.
An important part of a club, of course, is as well the member. Therefore, we have different levels of memberships. We have the billionaire, millionaire memberships, which is actually reserved for those high-level individuals who are actually typically those who come to have a look where to invest, who are interested in lucrative and alternative investments. We have as well the professional memberships, professional and SME memberships. These are more those members who are actually here then to find some assignments, to help to implement, who have already experience in these regions where the investment should be done, and who can help on the spot to implement these projects. And then, last but not least, very important, we have as well the diplomat members, because we would like to have all those government bodies on board as well. These are the people who can grant environment in their nations, in their homes, where this investment can be implemented fruitfully. So we are here to make the world a better place. We are here to help wherever needed to do the necessary investments to have the local people living on a better level, living a better life. And we do that with our very strongly defined values like integrity, professionalism, credibility, accountability, and ethical behavior. I hope to see you somewhere in our club, even probably maybe sometime as a member. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and in Europe and UK, and good evening in Middle East. Our audience is global, so I should say that good morning in America and Canada, and good early morning in Australia. I hope this day will bring a lot of happiness for you. And with this fine greetings, we will start our program of the day. The most inspiring Arab women. This is amazing title. This title itself uh, shows that Arab world is full of inspiring, innovative, creative women who is actually contributing in their businesses, adding to the society, giving value in general. We have very nice speakers today, and I will introduce you once the turn for each speaker will come. And with this, of course, I need to start with the formal recognition of few people who made this show possible. I want to thank Berkeley Global, Berkeley Me, Middle East. I want to thank Stephen. I want to thank Khalud Muhammad Shaban, and of course the Berkeley full team, Imtiaz, and all other people who really work hard to make this show possible and beautiful. This Berkeley Me and MS Global Women Foundation is a global voice for women development, women leadership, and it shows the women care to the rest of the world. The focus of this foundation is global, and the most affected countries, the developing countries where women still is struggling to come in business and in leadership. They still don't have access to free health, education, quality of life is really not to the standards. So these are the six pillars of this foundation. If you see the things to focus that we are trying to do from couple of years is the focus of in terms of women in business. So we're trying to bring business women in business, those who has capability, they feel that they are entrepreneurs, they have ability to lead. So we give them a full support in terms of planning, execution, in terms of empowering them, training them, and give them a free consultancy in order to make these dreams possible for them. And of course, every woman is not a businesswoman. So some women are good in terms of jobs. So creating jobs for women so they become financially independent and they can deliver their dreams through their education in the workplace and can add value to the organization. This is what is a really important thing that I guess the human beings we should focus on, because a financially independent woman is always a need of the society, and it can bring a better family for family facilities for the whole unit. We observe in developing country, women is not in politics at all. They are not in parliament much. I mean, still there are ratio of 20-80 somewhere. Even 5% women are in parliament. So we are trying to raise this awareness that women in politics we should come. They should build up some kind of their political movement, so they can they reach in the parliament and they can raise their own sound, and they can be a part of those legislation which can make the woman life very easy. So in terms of politics, business, jobs, and education, we believe that women rights ask us to give free education to a woman since she is a baby child, and it converts to say a PhD student throughout the life. She should be given a free education. This is a right, and a society should deliver this right to them. And of course, unfortunately, in all the developing country, women is not taken so seriously, and education is a far away concept in developing countries. Healthcare is really important. A lot of women lost the job, lost their life every year during the say pregnancy through mal foods and other chronic diseases, viral diseases, and they don't have access to the healthcare. So we always advocate for women a free healthcare and free education. And justice is the most important thing. That woman is a victim of injustice in most of the societies where she want to marry, she don't have a right to marry by her own will. Where she want to divorce, she need 2 3 years, and a hell of time passes in 3 years where she get a lot of troubles in terms of making her life difficult. So, right to divorce, right to marry, giving justice at doorstep, physically protecting, because in developing country, woman is not physically protected as well. So these are the 6 pillars of Berkeley Me and Musa Sheikh Global Foundation, and we are trying to spread our voice in the whole developing nations. And I'm feeling that with our continuous involvements, there's a lot of things happening positively. And of course, it's your voice that can make a difference. So, in terms of bringing women in politics, it's really, really important that we should bring women in developing country in politics, in parliament, because until they don't reach to a leadership place where they can decide for themselves, change will not come. So this is for sure. I mean, there are micro level changes and there are macro level changes. Micro level changes means that where an individual woman is trying to do something, she open a charity, say school, a charity shop, or start feeding some hungry people. That's fine. I don't say that's not a good cause. It's a very good cause. But the macro causes bring a macro changes in the society and in the country. So when women will decide that the exploitation of time is finished, and now she has to take the lead by herself and come in front. She should go for elections. Maybe it's a city council, it's a county, or it's a provincial assembly, or it's a national assemblies. They should be a candidate. They should raise their voice, and more it will happen. You will see that the more women protective policies, procedures, systems, and directive will be seen in the developing countries in terms of favor of women. Bringing business women in business is also a great challenge, because I have trained almost you can say 9,000 women, and in UAE only I have trained say 500 local women in terms of the accountancy, finance, leadership, management. So global women I saw is really charged. They are having innovative ideas. They every second woman has some business dreams, and unfortunately, in developing countries, these dreams um, never comes, hardly comes in the reality. So, because there is no incubation centers, there are no startup support, and if it is available, this is very minimal. It's very micro. It's not that intense. If you go to a bank, bank will say bring 3 years financial statement. So what a woman will do who has just an idea, she want to sell online food, she want to open a boutique, or she want to uh, start a flower business, and any business idea that comes in a woman head is really respectful. And there should be a macro level incubation centers and startups, at least each in one country, where a woman can go online, register herself, get a free business plan, get a consultancy, get a little funding, seed capital or startup capital, whatever the stage of idea is. This is really a need affair, and we have to focus on it. Bringing a woman in job is really important. Every woman wants to study. Unfortunately, in developing countries, most of the women don't afford, so they can't go above the grade 5. Grade 5 is the last education. Then they stay at home. They start doing small odd jobs to stay their life, and life become misery, because education is the only thing that can change the life of a human being or a woman. So it's really important that it's followed by an education plan. Like once you give them an education, then of course you need to bring them in the job. Now, bringing them job require people like us to generate some kind of projects. These projects are really unique and innovative. I will share some projects that we have initiated, which will create a lot of women jobs. And I'm sure that every city, every country can copy the same model, and they can move ahead with this. Time does not permit me, so I can't go in much details, but I'm just skimming and brief. I'm giving you, give women a free education. That's really important, because a woman is the one who will make the family. The first woman I encounter and everyone encounter is my mother. If my mother would not be educated, spark leader, if she is not dynamic in terms of importance of education, I would not be an educated person, that's for sure. So the women, your mother, your wife, your sisters, your daughters, these are always the one that is your inspiration. They are the one that you depend on. And of course, if they are educated, then it's very likely that the whole family is going to take up the vision of education. And you will see, like in your families, your grandfather, your father, your grandmother, your mother, if they like to you to be educated, then you are educated, of course. Free healthcare is really important. I just emphasize that in developing countries, still it will be surprising for you. I have visited those places myself. There, the woman is still delivering a baby on. It's just like a road, I mean, openly, and there's no doctor, there's no assistance right and left. So these are really depressed and assisted area which require our focus. So at least we should talk about it, so we can raise some kind of awareness. Protect women and child is really important. We need women and child protection centers. So because in developing countries, sometimes women is having physical threats from society in different ways. So we need to protect women and child. Care your elders is very, very important, because caring elders are shows the grace of the society. If you see in Europe, in UK, we have old homes where when the parents are really old, you need to take care of them. Now, in developing countries, previously we had an idea that we should care our own parents. That's fine. This is a very good idea. But what about those parents that they don't have any kids? And some has only girls that got married. There's no one to take care of them. So, and the ratio of man versus woman is distorting. More women, less man in some societies. So we need to take care of our elders. We should respect them. If we will respect them, we will get the respect, because elder is like is a system of creator that we need to respect our elders who cannot who don't have a family unit. They need assisted places and assistance from us. So in developing countries, we should raise this sound to create the care for. We should care for our elders and building elders' homes and making such laws which goes in the favor of like in civilized countries like UK, USA, we see that if you become a senior citizen, your transportation become cheap, your food become cheap, any necessities, you have enough facilities and discounts. This kind of culture we need to brought in the developing countries, and then it's going to help us. Let's move on towards the project. So very interesting projects we created. Of course, for women education, we need women's schools and universities. We recently negotiated with the British school, which is online since maybe 50 years. And this online education in COVID-19 has taught that no need to build much building infrastructure. Let's put money in the tablets and the laptops and giving online education at home to the care to the assisted areas where they cannot afford a school. So this is a very massive approach, and I'm very sure that within 1 year time we can target at least not less than 1 million kids across the globe who will be on the online education. The British standards. I mean, it will be a very revolutionary project that we are really excited about. Women technology parks are required. We see there are no much women in innovation and technology, very rare. So building tech vision in a women, the woman has dynamic capabilities, they're hardworking, they're innovative, they're creative. This is how their brain works. I have worked and been working with a lot of women. I feel a lot of time I seek their assistance myself for creativity, innovation, and all that. So women technology parks are very, very important. We should build them. Women agriculture, if you see in developing countries, half of the women is in the fields, in agriculture, in farming. So giving them a proper shape of an agriculture park, give them seed capitals, give them assisted seeds and technology that's going to help them build their own selves. So we can bring the world technology and money towards the villages, and this will also build the country in a very phenomenal way. They can export the items. It will be a revolutionary projects. Women in sports are very important. We encourage women's sports, and this is really, really important that women sports facilities should bring up, because women in sports will bring, as I told you, women. If my mother is a sports person, she will not let me leave like sleeping or lazy. I mean, I should have a scheduled plan, and the sports facilities in developing countries for women are almost 0.000%. So we need to build the sports spots, sports cities where women can play. We can develop Olympics level people, the women, starting from early childhood to the to as many age as we have the games. And of course, women incubation and startup centers we need to build up in each city, in each country, so at least we can start delivering some innovative idea. And in the last, we are working on women medias, because women in media is really important. Because I mean, 20 years before we used to read books, then we stopped reading books, and pictures take place. Now we learn from the videos, YouTubes. So I guess that a lot of awareness can be raised if we build up women as film directors, producers, so they can raise their sound and issues, and make a difference. So with this uh, objectives, I'm really excited to go towards the speakers. So let's see who is the first speaker with us today. Her Excellency Laila, welcome to our show. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. It's a great presentation. I am really blessed to be with you with all what you're doing as organization for the women and children and other
Th- Thank you
people.
very
Thank
much
you.
for joining us. And
My
I
pleasure.
would like, I mean, I know you very well, and your introduction, you don't need any introduction, but because we have a global audience, and I would like you to please introduce yourself. And then I have a couple of questions for you. Please go ahead.
So it's very simple. I'm a small drop in a big ocean when there is a great leader like you and others, people who are with us. Honorable guest. I am very glad to be here. We're fighting to make this world better. Whom we are, which title we are, in the end, we remain human beings. So I am Layla Rahal, simply which looking for a great opportunity to spread love, peace, and tolerance around the world. As Goodwill Ambassador, we have to be everywhere helping each other and left hand of each other. Thank you so much.
Amazing. And it's a lovely
So,
introduction. And I want to ask you, like, how you see women in business, because you are yourself a businesswoman. So, how you see that this is really important for you or a woman? Do you face some difficulties in the workplaces? Please give me some thoughts about your vision.
I will tell you a small story. When I started my Business Gate, 10 years ago, I was a woman who fighting to make her place in internal market and then global market. Of course, you find some difficulties as a business competition. But my vision is grow and grow when I start to be global and flying everywhere and meeting different people because for me, always has been unity is humanity and diversity is inclusion. So I merge myself with international global people to get a different culture, different education, and different vision to reach to my goal. I believe the business between a man and a woman is depending of great leader, how he see the vision of coaching others, of generating the best of them, of motivating others and building a great team. So always I say in a business, we, not me. One hand cannot clap, and we need always some other people as a shoulder, wherever it's women or men. If we support each other, we're gonna build a healthy business, especially in this circumstance. I don't deny, even if I am Arab and with scarf, I succeed because no matter who you are, which degree you are, which level of education, and whom you are, nationality or skill or even a religion, if you have that training and believe on your side, inside you, and that give power you want to succeed, you will succeed. No one will stop you for success if you believe on it. So my mission was not easy. Sometimes it's not for men, sometimes for a little jealousy of others, the women. But in case we try to pull them to our side to be one. And when you inspire others, you believe that they can make change and challenge, you will believe also that you will succeed. So my target, it was not whose difficulties or what's the difficulties I will face. It's my target was how I can make my dream true, and God bless, I make it.
That's amazing. And we can witness that you are a very successful woman. So, if a
Um,
woman wants to do business in, say, UAE, so what are your recommendations and the tips from A to Z, from planning to execution? Would you like to share some thoughts on this?
sure. Well, UAE, especially Dubai at the moment, is the better place you can succeed and make your business and your dream through because Dubai is helping you, the government, and also the environment and the people around you, plus safety, security, and trust. And there is legally and the law is for everyone. Wherever you are foreigner or non, there is a lot of help. So, but my advice, don't come and expect that you're going to make money from first step. You have to make first your plan, your sustainable development for your business. Love what you do. If you don't love what you do and you believe on that, don't even start a business. Have a knowledge for that business. Even if you have a millions and you don't have knowledge and you don't know your business better and you don't do it with your hand, don't open that door. Even you have the best consultancy management and the better managers in the world, if you don't know and you're not aware about which kind of business you're going to set up, advise don't do it. But in UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, wherever which zone, you are most welcome. We have Sapir Corporate helping people for business setup, and we have Business Gate, which is left in you for marketing, advisory, extending your business globally. But today, if you come to me and you say, I don't have knowledge about real estate, but I want to go to real estate, I would say to you, stop. Or you want to tell me, I want to do petroleum and I don't have knowledge for petroleum, and I say, stop. Do always what you love, what is inspiring you, what is motivating you, what is the best for you, because a business is like your baby. If you have to be the parent for your business. If you don't care about it, you don't follow it, you don't make it in proper way, don't do it. And also you have to be great leader for your team. You have to feel them, to coach them, to stay aware with your team and motivate them. Even you have one person, if you don't let that person grow with you in your company, don't even hire him. Don't make your team slaves, because they've never been slave, and each one is great. And each one of us have that light and power inside him to be someone, something. So I think it's time to straight our hand together and to let up each other, no matter where we are, from where we are. Believe in tolerance in a business. Love your business like you love yourself. Your business is your mirror, and to inspire others is that a great light you can give to the humanity.
That's amazing. I think this is $1 million advices that you give in free of cost right away. I do believe that not everyone is for business. So first, we need to identify that are you a business person or not, because businesses acquire a lot of risk. It's not like a
Exactly.
salary that will come every month, even but business is in loss or it's in gain. But when you do a business, you try to take some kind of risk in returns. And if you don't have experience, of course, you need to follow some leaders who has done the businesses like you have done. You are a successful business entrepreneur, and a lot of people has a great can learn from you. So my question is that what is your message to the woman who is still young, they are studying and they have dreams to convert into a businesswoman, what they should do and what they should not do?
Okay, my message to all the women around the world, no matter who you are, from where you are, which party, which religion, which level of education, no matter title you have, first things is be humble, because with the humility is you can earn all the hearts of the people. Keep always in your side that you have a power and energy we can use, spread everywhere. And success is an art. You have to always keep moderating that beautiful art you have inside you, because I believe a woman can do five things in same times, and she can make a lot of achievement, and she's always inspiring, guiding. Even she's not accountant in her house, she's accountant. Even she's not a lawyer in her house with her children, she can solve the problem. So as sister, as a mother, as young girl, which have the opportunity to lead the world, believe on yourself, get the proudness of yourself. Say to yourself that you're strong enough to do it. Don't be weak, because if you touch that weakness and sadness and negativity, you will never do it. Keep motivation in your heart and motivate people around you. As a woman, you are the builder of the families, small community and a big community, a builder of a nation. We don't need to empower a woman. She can empower herself. Now, with all this technology, everybody is in power. So we need to empower now the men, by the way. That we have to give a right also to the men. But as a future leader, women, be you. Only be you. Love yourself. Spray positive and get the knowledge every day. Believe me, no matter wherever it's happening in your life, don't fail. There is no time for failure. Be strong. You are one of the light of this committee, and this committee is the globe, and you are one of responsible of generating a lot of beautiful things in this globe. So be global, be international, be you, and be humble, simple, and you are beautiful. No matter they told you, don't let anyone break you down. You're so strong, lady, and you will make it. You will succeed.
That's an amazing message. Please go ahead. Go ahead with your concluding
Um,
remarks.
I don't know what I want to say something about inspiration. Inspiring others is an art. So we have to use our qualification and quality of life and style life to challenge others. That's the task of the leadership. So to help people to be something in the future, to be for a more higher level, to inspire is always to have style life of leading. I think we need all a coach, even me, even the coach, they need a coach. We have to share, to care, to support, to build. The world need us. I need you, you need me, and also the social media. Very careful with the social media. It's beautiful. I start being inspiring with the social media, and every time I'm wasting my time in posting and stuff, and I forget that time, my strength, what I want, where I am, and why I don't make a program for my life. Instagram is beautiful, all the social media is beautiful, but why I have to waste like hours and hours my head in the phone and I forgot that there is other people maybe they need me. Why I don't take the positive side to make that character helping others. Don't go to negative things to show off, to show your brand. Be the brand. Be the one who people and being inspiring by you. Be that small or big leadership what everyone wants to open your Instagram or your social media to see where are you today. Post the healthy thing. We need a healthy world. We need a better home. We need there is like when I do I have my NGO in Switzerland and I am doing a lot of humanitarian before in silence. I'm empowering the youth, empowering the women. But when I see why we have to show up that we are empowering women, I go to small villages where there is no water, no electricity, there is no schools, and that where we have to empower, not in a big city. Big city, they have the rich already, they have everything, they have all the technology. We have to go there where there is no technology and help them. Because you talk about the humanity. Humanity is not to show how many millions you spend on people. You have to show how many people they are happy with your help. There is a lot of big community and NGOs were doing a great job around the world, but we never heard about them because they do that for God, for humanity. So I think we have to be having honesty and commitment, and we have to do that achievement with a big heart because today I did not prepare my speech, which coming from the heart is reaching to the heart. We have to be true. We don't need a books and a bunch of paper in our hand and read. Now, what the message we will deliver it. I think all of us as leaders or even the simple person, we have to put our hands together. It's time to wake up because we got a big lesson from COVID. And it's time to change all our bad habits. And it's time to understand that all the globalization is being changing. And we have today to stop saying I. You have to say we, because our goal is one and we are one. Again, I say unity is the humanity and diversity is inclusion. We have to be diverse and global, and we don't have to stick to you are Arab, you are Indian, you are Pakistani, you are American. Stop that. We're human beings. We have to stop also saying you are Muslim and Christian and Jews. Stop. Be tolerant because we receive the same destiny and we've been created from God. It's one God. There is no thousand gods. Your God is my God. Wherever it is, the others believe, we respect them. But in the end, we are praying to one God when we are in difficulty. So I think this is great message what you are doing here with these conventions for the inspiring people and the leadership. I will love again if you do something for humanity and how to lift hands and to care and to help this young youth, because there is a lot of little girl and women is in the corner in the shadow. They need only someone to talk to and someone to listen to them. A lot of people, they don't need the money. They need the care. They need the help. They need to see achievement. So it's time to invest on the people, time to wake up, time to create some great concept for humanity. I know a lot of you in UNESCO, they're doing a lot of program, but when we start by small committee, our corner, our little committee, and then we can make the impact. Inspiring is that person who make a difference. Inspiring is that person who continue his circle and make it grow and grow and grow. Today, I'm glad and happy and really to be here with you. And talking about the women Arabs leadership, there is great leader in Europe, there is great leader in Asia, in Pakistan, in India, everywhere. The leadership is to move on a world for success. Leadership is the process which we have to implement with everybody. Leadership is the influence for others. It's accomplishment for objective, directive, and the great organization between a communication and achievement. Leadership, it's you, me, others. Leadership is a big circle who's influencing a project and putting a task in the reality. So I have a lot to say, but whatever I say, the minimum you speak, the minimum you achieve. I think leadership, it's you, me, others. The inspiration, it's you and me. Everyone is inspiring in his way. Even the mom of 5 kids, she's inspiring her kids and her neighborhood. We have just to choose to be in right place to inspire others and to grow together and challenge together. Thank you so much. I'm really happy, and I wish I have other opportunity to talk about how we can help those people hiding in shadow, those people who need us, those people who don't have electricity, those people who did not go to the school, those people like when I go to Cambodia, I find 95% is Buddhist and 5% is Muslim. Sorry, it's nothing to do about religion, but I did care, and I opened youth gate in Cambodia with one Cambodian Muslim lady, and we are starting to teach them Quran, to do for the mosque renovation, and now our circle is grow, and there is a lot of ambassadors, Muslims from Arab Committee and others, they helping us for that. So, and I never show this, but today I decided to talk about it because I believe inspiring and leading is not only business. We can lead other things. Lead.
That's amazing. Laila, you are such an inspiration. You are
Thank
such
you
an
so much.
inspiration. And I guess you have so much insight, you. This is my feeling. And time is not permitting us to go as we want. But what I suggest is that we will invite you again in a separate show, and we will enlighten our audience with your global thoughts. So I want to thank you for joining us today, and I'm looking forward to have you in our next shows.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you to Khulud. Thank you to all the team who give me this opportunity. And thank you to our honorable guests. I see you have amazing caliber, high-level people, and a great leader here. Thank you again. It's my pleasure. See you soon. And welcome to Dubai. Business Gate welcome you. Anyone wants to start up the business, I will be here for you. Thank you so much.
That's amazing. Thank you very much. Goodbye. And with this, we will move towards the next speaker and see who is on board today. Aisha, welcome to our show. How are you doing today?
Hi, Musa. How are you? Very good. All great.
Thank you very much. And you are such a inspiring profile for us because you are an engineer, and I know that a woman engineer life is not that easy. So I would just want to ask that which point of time you thought to be an engineer, and what is your life success story? Can you please share with our audience?
Yes, sure. First of all, thank you so much, Musa, for the opportunity. And thank you all for allowing me to be on today's show and to give the story a bit to everybody who's listening to us and to the world. It all started when I was in high school. So I always wanted to explore the engineering background, and I always was smart in math and physics. So it was something that I really enjoyed. And after that, it just started that I've applied for university and I got accepted and had that passion within me to enforce and go into a major where it is very much male dominant major. So after that, the university was really a very interesting period of my life, which allowed me to move on and to explore different angles of the engineering world in general, and then more specific, I've hit into the electrical engineering, which has really broadened my knowledge and information and allowed me to decide what I want to do. So that led me into joining the energy sector, and which is also a sector that is dominant by men, as you know, but that does not have an issue here in the UAE. In the UAE, we're very blessed with the leadership that we've got, where we're able to proceed in whatever we want and enter into whatever major we'd like to do and work in whichever workforce we want, because there has always been an equality and there has always been a chance for a woman to speak about and just prove herself into that. So this is in a nutshell what has happened, Musa. So happy to answer your next one, or let me, where do you want us to guide for?
Of course. I just want to know that last time I was interviewing the first UAE aviation engineer, Dr. Saud. She was explaining her life story about engineering is a new profession, and of course, women in UAE is blessed because the leadership is really dynamic, innovative, and they encourage women to be a part of it. You don't face those problems which actually women across the developing countries are facing. So what do you think, that what is your message to those developing women country people, women especially, that want to be an engineer, want to be innovative? What advice you can give them?
So Musa, as you know, at a very young age, so I'm currently now 27 years old, and I've been working as an adjunct faculty member in the Abu Dhabi University for master's students. So through that platform, I've been able to inspire a lot of not only Emirati students, but also international students who have been part of the Abu Dhabi University, and showed them that even if you're at a young age, always try to follow your passion. So if you have something in mind that you believe in or something that you would want to accomplish, never let anyone stop you or tell you that's impossible. Because there's always a way and there's always a door for you in order to achieve what you're looking for. So for example, one of the things that we've been able to do is to get these students or these people who have a very good passion into working onto actually real-time projects and real-time issues in engineering. So one of the things that I've tried to do, and personally it was a personal effort with the full support of the university, is that we have allowed students to work on the energy sector problems and solve some of the issues that real companies are facing. And this has allowed not only women, but also men, in order for them to transit from the educational life into the real life. And I think this is something that maybe other countries, or as you call them, developing countries, do not have that opportunity. But I think it all should come through education, as you have mentioned in the beginning of the speech, that education is key. And education is the door for everyone to be able to achieve what they want to do or what they want to aspire to become. Because if you're educated and you've got a good education, foundation, background, or a door into education, you can always influence a change into the world. And this is where all changes come. And that's why, as I've mentioned before, like in the UAE, we are really blessed that we've got a leadership that allows us to test whatever we want, engage in whatever forces we would like. And they did give us a lot of trust. As you know, we've got the youngest, we've got like a lot of ministers, we've got a lot of people in high positions. So this is in a nutshell what I think. And a message to all the women over there is that please believe in what you have and always take your chances and never think that there's any discrimination. We live in a world where I think everyone has been proven that women can all do the same things in all task forces. So just believe in yourself and follow your dreams.
Well, that's amazing. I think it's a very great message that we should believe in our dreams. So my one question that generally I encountered for the women is that when they decided to be a leader, what kind of characteristics they should have in them, which you believe that they can be very, very successful businesswomen?
So if you talk about businesswomen, I'm not really the right person to answer you about businesswomen because I'm not really into a business world. But I think if they would want, they should seek advice and listen to others and seek the authorities or the places that have put out regulations, rules. And there are hundreds and thousands and tons of places where you can seek advice. You can approach consultancy in that area. You can either ask people from experience, or you should just attend a conference or look up into the internet and see what does that country offer, and then decide based on the market needs and demand supply, whichever place you'd like to be investing into.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I used the wrong word. I want to say that women in business, actually. So, I mean, you are even not self-employed, but still you are a woman in business. So I guess that maybe a woman who want to come in energy or in business, what kind of characteristics they should hold as a prerequisite if they really want to focus in energy business, especially you are a board member, so you are into a strategic vision. And so when you see energy, now I'm talking about a regional, because energy is the basic thing that developing countries don't have. I mean, if I cannot open my laptop because I don't have current, so all my educational plans are zero. So my question from you is that how you see women in energy, what are your strategic visions related to the energy sector?
So I guess, Musa, that women in energy, it's a world where there are a lot of women in there. I'm one of them. There are hundreds and thousands of them all around the world. If a woman would like to enter into the energy sector in particular, they will need to be very strong. They'll need to have confidence in themselves. There will be a lot of people trying to, how do I say the right word? Like, not allowing them to put on their vision or not allowing them to share an idea, or will try to stipulate the idea in a different form. But regardless of that, a woman should always stick to her mind, put her thoughts very well, present it in a nice way where the other person or people on the other side of the table will accept it. And a true leader, or either a woman or a man, there are three things I'll always focus on. A true leader is a leader who can stand on his own and believe in himself. A true leader is a leader who has courage to take a decision at the time when a decision is required to be taken. And a true leader is a leader who listens to those who need it and to those who are requiring him to listen to their thoughts.
That's amazing. I think you well composed your thoughts of women in energy. My last question from you is that how you see the upcoming women and girls, because you are a young leader yourself, and how you see yourself next 20 years down the road, working for women leadership and supporting women for upcoming leadership.
So 20 years down the road, that will make me turn into 47, Musa. So I'll not think a lot. But in the long term, I would always support women. I would support both genders. For me, I don't see it like men or women. I would always support a person who has a thought, a person who has an idea, a person who really has something which will make this world become better. And if you specifically talk about women, I would always tell them, get educated, make sure you're fully knowledgeable about what's going around you, believe in yourself, and always believe that there will be someone out there looking for you and wishing to put you into an entity or to start up a business with him or get up into an idea, an enterprise, take a risk, and then suddenly you'll see yourself flying if you just believe in your ambitions. And that's my last I'd like to pass through this. And thank you so much, Musa. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Berkeley. I'd like to thank Khulud, the CEO, for everything, and looking forward to joining you onto different platforms as well.
That's amazing. Thank you very much for joining us, and we're looking forward to host you in other shows as well.
Thank you.
With this, we will move towards the next segment of the program.
are a diverse team of experts and industry professionals. In a world of complexity and opportunities, organizations are trying to make new connections and find new ways of innovating. We collaborate with our clients to understand them and help solving their complex industry issues. To optimize their solutions so they can stand out and realize long-lasting results. We offer our clients financial services, HR and business solutions, accounting services, tax and audit, among others. To know more about what Berkeley Middle East can offer you, please log to
Now we have Layla live from Oman. How are you doing, Layla, today?
I'm fine, thank you, Musa. It's really my pleasure to be among all of you today, and thank you so much for the invitation to you and Khulud and all the team.
Likewise, and we are very excited to listen to your thoughts for the day. So can we start with the formal introduction for our audience? Can you introduce yourself?
This is the most difficult thing when you speak about yourself. I wanted to share a presentation, but it didn't work with me, so I'm going to just speak. Hopefully that I'm not going to let you get bored, but I don't know what I can say more about me. But I have experience almost like now 16 years. I started my career as administrator. I graduated actually in English literature. Then I decided to continue with master's degree, and I did it online. My first career was coordinator. So this is one of the things that I need to, say it or share it with the audience, that no matter what is the first career that you are going to start with it, don't let others to drive you. You are the one who are going to drive your job. you are going to decide if your job is important or not important. Because some people, they say, okay, you are just going to do some routine, it's going to be a boring one, so it depends on you. So as soon as you start any job, make it the most important thing in your life. Deal with it as you are the CEO of your own position. The office that you are sitting on it, you are the CEO there. So you can make it, shining with full of achievements. And now I'm currently working in Ministry of Transportation, Communication, and Information Technology. I'm mostly specialized in digital transformation team. And now also I'm leading one of the most important projects in Oman, which is the smart cities. I'm so much fond and passionate about this project. And beside, my work and so on, I have another hobbies that is empowering myself, empowering, my personality. That's why becoming today what I am. So I have another, hobbies like writing, for example, traveling. All of these are becoming like, hobbies, and has been inspired by others and what I'm today. So that's what I can share it briefly about myself.
Amazing, and it's amazing introduction, and it's very unique that a woman is in digital transformation and working on smart concept. I'm really, when I come to know about this, I was really excited to speak with you, because we are actually doing a lot of things on smart side of women right conversion, means online divorce management system, online marriage system, where women should not unnecessarily go to the public offices and waste their times. So it's amazing. So I would request you to please share your thoughts of the day and enlighten us with your knowledge.
When it comes to digital transformation, the most important thing when I started this job, because I started with the digital transformation in 2012. I have to say that, when we speak about leadership and empowerment, it started from this position, because the first position was I was working as coordinator 6 years in Sultan Qaboos University. It was like academic, place and so on. So as soon as I moved to the digital transformation team, there was one guy that, empowered me. He was, my late director. My late director, his name is Khalid Siabi. May Allah bless his soul, because he passed away 2 years ago. He was a great leader. One day he called me in his office. He said, Layla, don't never underestimate yourself. You can do it. You can lead a great project. So don't hesitate, because, it always happens. We sometimes, the woman, sometimes we are ready to work, but sometimes we get reluctant. We don't want to be, on the stage and so on. But he taught me also a very good advice. About the knowledge. Actually, since I was a kid, my father, he was my role model. That he always emphasizing about the education. He said, education is the most powerful weapon. Whenever you go, that weapon will be with you. So I started learning, and when I say learning, no matter what level you have reached, even if you are a CEO, even if you are a president of your country, but you have to set goals. Start learning for every year. Set your goal. Say, I'm going to learn this knowledge. Because no matter what level you are going to reach, we will still need that knowledge. And that's what I did as soon I joined the digital transformation. I couldn't specialize in one area. And that's most of the people what they do. They say, okay, I'm going to be specializing in digital transformation, change management, let us say the business analysis. But because of the piece of advice that I got from my director, every year I started, learning about a new knowledge. So the first year I got certified in user experience. The next year it was in change management, then business analysis, then project management. Then I'm going to change management again, and then for knowledge management, and the cycle keep going in. So because of that, I got empowered because of education. And then I was able, because of my role in digital transformation, we have to supervise, the government entities. We have to go and share our knowledge with them, because it's very crucial, our role. You cannot say you have to do this and this, and you don't know how to do it. So that was, like a big challenge. I said, I can't do it. So I got certified in all of these knowledge areas. And that, empowered me when I started the consultancy with all the government entities.
Go ahead.
So one of my best advice that I would like to give to any woman: make a goal for every year, not even a year, even by months and so on. You have to learn something new, because if you want to be empowered, you have to learn a new knowledge every month, every year. Even if you are using the social media, you have to ask yourself, why I'm using this social media? Is it going to help me, or just wasting my time chatting with friends, families, and so on? You have to decide. I have to invest my time and invest myself so I can feel that I am achieving, I'm doing something really great. So that's what I would really like to share when it comes to the knowledge with you, Musa, and everyone, that we need all to emphasize that the knowledge is the most, powerful thing. And one of the things that we would really like to say, every woman, they have to fight. And when I say fight, it's not fighting with Osama bin Laden going to the war and so on. Fight for your career, fight for your education, fight for your future. Don't let others say you cannot do it. You can do it. And become dreamer. I know some people, they say, no, don't be dreamer. You have to be realistic. But be dreamer. We have dreams since we are kids. Even if you are dreaming to be the president of your country, why not? Then work harder to achieve that dream. So be dreamer, and don't let others to say, no, you cannot dream, and no, you cannot do it because of the traditions, because of the community and so on. You will do it.
That's amazing. I think it's a very great advice to the audience that we should have dreams, and the dreams should not be taken for granted. So, and such an inspiring woman you have yourself has achieved success, and of course, I'm sure that every listener will get a value out of you, out of your life. I generally encounter some questions from the women in jobs. So I just want to put one of them in front of you. Sometimes we meet the married ladies who are working. They have 2 kids and a husband. And a husband is not supportive, and they are actually, not even, I should say, that they are the obstacle in her progress. They will keep unsupporting and giving tensions to them, so they resign and sit at home. So such kind of women, what is your advice how to manage their personal life balance with their professional life?
As I said, fight. Why fighting? Because you have the right. Because if you just kept yourself, just for your family and for kids, I know it's sometimes priority, but don't forget yourself. Because I know a lot of women, they will just, keep complaining. They say, we are really hectic with homework and with the kids, with our husband and so on. You have to take a space for you. For example, a space, look what you are really passionate about it. Do you love, for example, drawing? Do you love reading? Do you love writing? Because, we have a very good example. If we get back to the history, we have a lot of people, we have a lot of women who were really successful. They were mothers, they were, great leaders. So don't let others decide what you should do. Even if you have like 1 hour, keep that 1 hour for you and decide what to do. Invest in yourself. And I'm going to say it many times, invest in yourself, search for what you love, your passion. Believe me, as soon as you invest in yourself, you will feel relief, even if you can't go just outside and away from anyone, or just even lock the door. Lock the door to yourself and do what you want. Whether you want to read, to write, to sing, do what you really want to do.
That's great. My last question for the day is, what is your advice for women who is in innovation and transformation?
First of all, I will let you write your goals. Second, keep dreaming and being positive. And when I say being positive, try to make, very close, the people who are positive in your life, make them closer. And the friends or the family, the members who are always keep complaining and have negative vibes, keep them away. And when I say away, not just away to stop your relation with them, but keep the people who are so much positive closer to you so they can impact you. And keep learning. And when I say keep learning, learn anything you might learn, a new hobby, learn gardening, learn writing. So keep learning and work with a team. When I say work with a team, sometimes you need the support. If you get any trouble, you will need somebody to support you. So keep the team, whether it is a friend or colleagues very close from you, and keep practicing. Everyone, they say, how can we, for example, be good as you when we speak at, in public? I will just say, keep practicing and you will be so much better. And make mistakes. There is no worries from making mistakes. And the most important thing to end my advice to you, brand yourself. Because I know a lot of women who are working very hard, but they are not branding themselves. So you can start in branding yourself, what you are doing exactly. For example, use LinkedIn, which is a professional, a platform, so you can market for your work. You can use any platform, so you can, show the others what you are doing. That's what I can really share with all the women, so they can really successful and inspired and empowered. And as soon as you are empowered, start sharing your knowledge and empower other women.
That's the most inspiring message as a closing message I have ever heard from an inspiring woman live from a man. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's really my pleasure, Musa, and thank you so much for hosting me today. And I hope that everyone will enjoy the end of this event. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. With this, we will move towards the next speaker of the day. Oh, I can see Dr. Najat. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, Musa. Very well. How are you?
I'm doing great, and thanks for joining us. Would you like to please start your introduction formally?
Thank you so much for today. I'm delighted as part of Gazette Advisory Group to be a speaker at today's event hosted by Barclays Middle East on the Inspirational Arab Women 2021. It's my second stint as speaker for this company. My focus today really is on the new sort of domain shift of Arab women as the matriarchs of the Arab Family Office.
I think you are one of the unique talents I have ever seen in my life. You have a blend of West, you are a blend of Arabs. And so would you like to share your thoughts of the day?
Yes, thank you. As I said, my focus is looking at how the Arab Family Office is changing rapidly, particularly those championed and pioneered by the female leader for whom strategy, building on her father's legacy and remaining keeper of the finances and the recruitment of new trusted advisors and professionals has become incumbent upon her and is imperative, more so now than ever. Also of great importance within the private office domain is looking at how sort of private banking side of things is gaining greater importance as investment advice, as the obsolete strategies of the old approach to family offices is becoming quite obsolete. These are strategies used by the patriarchs of 30 years ago or so, which are being rapidly swept aside for a newer approach where women are looking at taking in investments in tech, blockchain, biotech is of great importance, particularly with the pandemic, startups, particularly those led by women, and taking stakes in pre-IPO opportunities. And sort of private bankers are gaining momentum also, where they can offer more than the conventional. So my focus really is looking at how women are looking at the increasing importance of the ecosystem of access to funding for companies led by women where the female matriarch, as it were, would look at these investment opportunities with the greatest scrutiny. Also, they look at equal pay, equality of opportunity, and the board diversity of a company prior to investing in it. So the more principled Arab female principal is now thinking twice about where they invest in the sort of non-diversified and non-inclusive companies where boards are not well represented. So if we look at the sort of the global ecosystem of how family offices are being run nowadays by more and more women in the Gulf region, they're looking at the whole comprehensive concept of how companies are structured, diversity, and also the focus on maintaining wealth that they've inherited, as well as a great return on their investments in the future.
Oh, that's great. So what do you think that in terms of women leadership, women investment, what private offices should do? Because this question I would explain you before in your reply to it, that in, say, in UK and Europe, because it's a tax economy, and if you do any social work, you get some tax reliefs as well. On top of this, you do a contribution to society. But when you see the Middle East region, the Arab region, they are tax-free, and they are actually excited to work on certain projects. So in that context, what is your advice that what family offices should invest in women in which way?
Well, that's a very poignant question, Musa. Thank you for that. But let's firstly examine where we currently are in the family Arab office space. The current trend is a recurring challenge of intergenerational control, particularly amongst siblings who are inheriting the wealth, and also of sort of fixed asset transfer. It's a very, very important moment where Arab families are fortifying or trying to fortify their wealth management within a more formal sort of corporate structure. And for example, incredibly at the moment, many Arab family offices that I know of, where the patriarch is in their 70s, still have not formally appointed a legal successor. So this could bring about many challenges of its own, as I'm sure you'd appreciate. However, once there has been an appointment and more of these reins are being handed over to the tertiary educated, talented daughters for whom the emergence of a private office is imperative. And so what are we seeing, as per your question? We're seeing more of a dilution of the old family office space in lieu of a new recruitment drive to get the best talent out there, where name your price approach is being manifested. And also we're seeing new approaches to leadership styles in line with the, as I've off-cited, the Gulf Arab leadership style, which is still very much the Majlis, and also new approaches to investments. Asset management takes on, a different approach also, with major sell-offs of previously acquired fixed asset sell-offs, and the acquisition of new fixed assets, particularly in the hotspots of, for example, London or Geneva, etc. And the new matriarch is looking to acquire new fixed assets in line with the new matriarch's strategic approach to family offices. So we are seeing the emergence really of a hybrid model of the old family office and the emergence of a new private office structure, which is being very finely balanced to not only gain high fiscal returns, but also for the daughter, the sort of the female lead, to prove herself to the patriarchs ostensibly, and also to the siblings. As per your question about location, we're seeing scores of Arab private offices opening up in Asia. For example, Singapore, of which I'm resident, is a hotspot. We are seeing private offices have doubled up in the last 5 years or so. And this will continue to grow as there is a big focus on Southeast Asia. Also, there's a flurry of private offices opening up in Saudi Arabia, where we've witnessed legislative, social and fiscal reform, which has made the kingdom a very attractive option with more governance and transparency, which is being warmly received. So we have this new drive for talent in Saudi Arabia, for example, the UAE, to set up these female-led private offices, which is increasing rapidly, and I predict will increase even more the next 5 years, certainly. And I predict more so in Saudi Arabia than anywhere else. What are they investing in? As I mentioned, there's a big appetite for fixed income bonds. Co-investment deals are very attractive. Tech, female-led startups, and there's an examination of the makeup of the corporate structure of companies before they invest in, where there's, as I mentioned before, there's greater scrutiny on the sort of the how the company is set up and the board diversity, which I, as an advisor, I always examine myself. So there's this push for talent. There's an emergence of a new style of leadership with women at the helm. And it's mainly sort of emerging in the Gulf region, but a big focus on Asia.
You're absolutely right that the succession planning that you particularly highlighted is a very important aspect. And I recently was working on an assignment to make a single family office in DIFC, Dubai International Financial Center. So I felt that even ADGM, DIFC, they are quite friendly and very, very open arms for the family offices that they can register them. Even the amount, if I want to register a family office in UK, the threshold is quite high. And if I want to do it in Dubai, it's quite reasonable. And any family person can decide to be its own, whether it's a male or female. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Succession planning is really important. And what you suggest that when a woman make her own family office, so like here in Europe, US, generally we keep a certain portion for the social causes, social works, because of various reasons. It can be a taxation, or it can be a special focus of a family office on a particular cause. I mean, I saw someone's mother died with cancer, so he or she will be more inclined to work for cancer patients. They will build up research and hospitals. So every family office has its own inclination towards the social causes. So if we create a scenario that there is a rich woman, and Middle East is interesting because 30% of women own $1 billion of dirhams, which is really unique in the rest of the world. The money is in the hand of a woman, not in the man. So that's really exciting, because in other part of the world, only a woman get a wealth when you get divorced. So the property will be half off, then she will be getting some money. So this was a joke apart, of course. So my question is that if there is a woman, she is a rich woman, she make her own family office. So in which way she can help women in terms of bringing a change in the women's world?
Yeah, that's quite an important question, and I think there's always a jostling of position as the female leader establishes herself and her new private office. And as I said, there's a legacy of managing the assets that she has acquired by the patriarch while launching a new diversified investment portfolio, which would include, as you mentioned, social causes, the ESGs. There's also a greater focus on philanthropic investments, legacy investments. There is a massive sort of key verticals are sort of emerging within private offices where philanthropy is very, very important and gaining prominence. And, it's part of this portfolio of management that is being looked at. Also, other things that sort of are looked at is the managing of risks and costs associated with operating the entity itself. So cost analysis is very, very important. And, you know, sought after and trusted COOs as myself and CIOs have never had so much importance, I would say, as well as offshore trust providers. The offshore trust is not going anywhere. So these remain very, very important. And having a council of trusted advisors with the emergence of the private office is very, very important. I see lots of gatekeepers, and I call them gatekeepers. And one must be very wary of the unqualified advisor, the unqualified professional, and particularly the female leader with these new private offices sprouting up everywhere. And the new Arab female leader understands that with the expansion of these private offices, there's always a risk that, you know, possibly capital can be quickly diluted unless a sensible wealth preservation strategy and governance structure is put into place to secure the prosperity for future Arab generations. There is also a review of the balance of power of either recruiting well and handling investments in-house, which is more effective in the long run, more cost effective, or continuing to outsource to third-party professionals, which is, as we know, more expensive in the long run. So you have this balance of power. And operating costs are being more scrutinized now more than ever before, because we understand there was a big capital leakage over the decades of, you know, to be very frank, in looking at the balance sheets myself, dilution of capital where, you know, tens of millions been paid out to professionals. So bringing things in-house is also a growing trend, sort of gaining talent, retaining talent, and beefing up the corporate structure of personnel. There's also quite a large degree of diplomacy that takes place. You have, on the one hand, the risk-averse patriarchs of yesteryear, many of whom have been very disappointed by the wrong advice in their approach to investments, versus today's female leaders' approach with a riskier investment appetite, who are open to new opportunities and diversifying away from the original real estate from years ago. Women now are open to fund investment, particularly fixed income, private equity, and startups, as well as I mentioned, the social causes and the philanthropy causes, which are fast gaining momentum. And I think also what's very, very important as we sort of build up the private offices across the Gulf and in Southeast Asia is good governance, which is very important for overseeing the bridge into today and in the coming decade. It's a big focus at the moment.
This family office management require a specialist and an authentic financial advisor. And I think that it's a tough competition where there are Swiss banks and other banks sitting in the Gulf, and they are advising, while there are consultants, there are financial advisors. So the market is really tough and hard. And in that scenario, of course, I always wish good luck to our friends that they
exactly. I mean, the market is quite saturated at the moment with advisors. There's advisors coming out of everyone's ears at the moment. And, you know, the new Savia principle, the female principle, I think is wise to entrust a new set of professionals, not only the inheritance of professionals from the Fathers' Council, but putting together a team of in-house professionals to co-manage her corporate affairs. And I say co-manage because the female principals with whom I work really have their eye on the ball. They are tertiary educated. They are most of them have MBAs. They are scrutinizing accounts. They are scrutinizing advice they receive. And every week we are, being asked by other advisors, other sort of professional service providers on how they can, get their foot in the door. So there's a jostling of positions, and the new female principal is very, very savvy, because the key here is agility. the corporate agility of the female-led private office is becoming very, very important. And innovation is imperative, where one focuses on long-term growth strategies for wealth, as well as incorporating the internal and external stakeholder priorities. And quite interestingly, I think, many of the female principals remain invisible. Some of the female principals are not visible at all. They prefer to operate away from the public and certainly away from any sort of conferences or any speaking engagements in public. So they remain very much under the radar. Discretion is key, and trust is imperative. So as the team is built up, it's a team of trust, it's a team of professionalism, good governance, and legacy building.
That's amazing. I think these are very, very important points. And I just want to put my input in that. I got blessed last 15 years. I trained a lot of excellencies, his and her both. I found them when they were 20 years maybe. Some of them I taught myself as CFA, and they qualified also. And some of them I taught CPA for accountancy and better management, because they are 3-4 brothers. So one is taking a role, and other is into investments. So I guess that the youth is really updated. They speak English like us, and they like global. They are raised in America, some are in UK. So it's a very, very easy and very, very, you can say, what I feel is interactive with them, because they respond to you. Maybe unlike 40 years before, the trends were a bit different, and now the trends are really encouraging and exciting. With this, I would request you to please conclude your remarks for the day.
Thank you so much, Musa. So how will I conclude? Just with the prominence of the female-led private office, I'm very proud of this flurry of activity in the Gulf region. I'm very proud as a British-born Arab woman to be an advisor to these private offices. And it's very also important to note that as these private offices gain prominence, as they beef up their advisory personnel, their corporate structures, they work alongside legislation of localized governments in the Gulf region. And there continues to be a need to nudge governments so that the policy level, so that further laws can be enacted to ensure equality of payment to male and females, ensure that women have equal opportunities, as well as ongoing professional developments. It also helps empower women to lead the future family offices in the future, and to develop corporate strategies and ambitious projects. So if we look at, for example, Morocco's 2004 law, the Madawwana, and the Saudi Vision 2030, which have put a focus on equality and promoting social change, this goes hand in hand with the private sector that will guarantee, I think, how we look and how we approach this new female leadership in the private office, or as I would call it, the feminization of the Arab family office, where we find female principals approach their investments, their corporate structures with their empathy and leadership.
Talk for the day, and I want to thank you for joining us, and I'm looking forward to have you in our shows again.
Thank you so much, Musa and team. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
With this inspiring thoughts on family offices investment, let's move to the next segment of the program. Dr. Hanan, thank you very much for joining us today. Your mic is still mute.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Would you like to introduce yourself and then your talk of the day?
Yes, my name is Dr. Hanan Salim. I'm originally a pharmacist by profession, and I've been working in the healthcare industry for over 25 years now. And to make a long story short, I worked at the most prestigious hospitals in Manhattan. And I've come to a point where actually life turned around and I became the patient. And I'm actually a chemopharmacist, clinical pharmacist. So I was doing chemotherapy for my cancer patients. And at one point in my life, I became the patient. I went into what I knew best, the School of Thought of Medicine. And unfortunately, it didn't help as much as I was, thinking the protocols, the exact protocols. And then I found myself on this new journey of trying to find out what is the root cause behind any of these global illnesses and diseases that we're all being affected by, whether it be communicable or non-communicable diseases.
That's amazing. Would you like to share some presentation for the day, or?
Yes, I do actually. I have something prepared. Yes, I will
So
be
please
doing.
go ahead with this.
Thank you. Do you see it or not yet?
Oh, well, not yet. Maybe you have to open your file and then you have to click the share button and then maybe it will work for you.
Okay, how about now?
I can see myself and yourself, not the slide.
Oh, that's very strange. Okay, one second. I will try again. Stop sharing. Share. Oh, yes, application.
That's great. So please go ahead.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, so my topic today is how do we master the emotional brain to peak performance, even during times of change? So I want to talk about 3 simple practical ways that we could do that. And I call them my 3 Bs. And I will speak about where I got these 3 Bs, because at the end of the day, I am a scientist, and science and research and numbers mean everything to me. So I would like to go into a little bit of that, describing where that came from and how effective it is and how it could help our audience today. So my 3 Bs are actually brain training, breathing, and body. And this all started, like I mentioned, back when I was actually trying to help my own patients in Manhattan. I worked at the prestigious hospital. So I would see my cancer patients who would be doing so well on the protocols we give them, of course, working with the best team in Manhattan. And unfortunately, these same patients would be doing so well, going into remission, but quite a few months later, they would come back out of remission with something like 6 months to a year to live. And then we would see that with our diabetes patients who would be doing well as well on the conventional protocols, come back with gangrene, needing amputation. And the same thing with obese patients. They would be doing so well, again, with their health, with the diet, with the exercise. But again, a few months later, coming back needing a ventilator because they couldn't breathe, because their obesity was so uncontrollable. So it was always in the back of my mind, why is this happening? We work with the best team, with the best doctors, with the best nurses, with the best protocols and the medicines and the research and the cutting edge stuff. Why is this happening? So to make a long story short, when tables turned around and I had the other side of the bed, quote unquote, where I became the patient, it kind of like came full storm ahead in front of me, where all that was in the back of my mind became front fold. And I decided to go on this journey and do that, which I was thinking of doing a long time back for my own patients. And that was to find what is called the root cause. Now, unfortunately, these root causes are not things that conventional medicine can pick up on MRIs, lab works, radiology, x-rays, and so forth. They actually silently accumulate, if you will, And it's actually based on the science called epigenetics. So basically what epigenetics says is that it's not your DNA that predisposes you to disease. It's actually your environment that you surround yourself with physically and psychologically. So needless to say, based on that, I went on, did my research, 17 years of research, and I decided that, okay, what is it that is not showing up on our lab work or x-rays or all these magnificent tools that we're using in conventional side? And this is where I decided, where it became like a system that people can implement. Now, I'm not saying it replaces conventional protocols, okay? So I'm not saying to stop your chemo or your diabetes medicine or your heart medication and so on. I'm just suggesting that while you're doing that, why don't we look for that which has caused it in the first place, help relieve that is going to not needing you to go from 1 milligrams of a medication to 2 or 3, yeah? So this is pretty much what it kind of boils down to. As you see here, there's doctors in scrubs, and the water that is represented here is actually the diseases we've been talking about: diabetes, cancer, obesity, and so forth. And what's happening is we're taking so much energy and time and effort trying to clean up the symptoms, what is the water that's represented on the floor, when we just need to look up and look at where the root cause is coming from, and that is the faucet. And basically what we're trying to mention here through this research is that just turn off the faucet, turn off that which is causing the health havoc in the first place. And it's based on this simple idea, or this simple methodology, and that is the mind-brain-organ connection. So if we go back to the root cause, which might be happening in the mind, there's a story, there's a misunderstanding somehow from, for example, childhood. I mean, it's more technical than that because there's phases, there's stages and things of the sort. But if we go back and we just create that alignment, that harmony between the mind, brain, and organ, you relieve many, many things in a holistic way. As you see here, you could actually relieve the emotions or the beliefs that started the energy in motion, which is emotion, that created the havoc or the marching orders, if you will, from the brain that's now given the symptoms in the organ. It turns out that this mind-brain-organ connection is actually a program that already exists in each and every one of us. And there's some disarray, disharmony somewhere in that connection. And we just need to go in, find where that gap is, and fill it. So basically, as the research shows here, is that yes, if we relieve stress, anxiety, and depression, that might be the root cause, but it's actually 15% of the equation. 10% is nutrition, sleep is another 10%, and activity, exercise is only 9%. If you combine all of these, the anxiety relief for nutrition, sleep, and activity, that doesn't make the full bulk. What actually is causing the havoc, like I mentioned earlier, when we first started the webinar, is that the 56% of the cause is what we call chronic biodisruption. So there's something in the environment that I mentioned that's based on the epigenetics that's happening silently, that's compounding and causing you these diseases. So again, finding the root cause, and we actually discovered that there's actually a process called as GSS formula that actually takes simply 7 minutes, a simple questionnaire that you could go and find the root cause and then be able to work on that alongside your protocols. And again, the entire system, again, is a natural holistic approach that is a 6-step process that we call the 6 R's. So a little bit about myself. I mentioned I am a PhD in clinical pharmacy. I've been working in this healthcare field for over 25 years. I built several wellness businesses like health stores, nutrition stores, vitamin stores. Of course, I had my own pharmacy. And now I have this new system that we call Healology that is actually a holistic approach. So like I mentioned earlier, that we were dealing with these patients and looking and finding these yo-yo results just by addressing nutrition alone or exercise alone, the things that we mentioned earlier, that is only a small part or percentage of the whole process. So what is this therapy or cutting edge therapy we're talking about today? It's actually based on 3 important factors that I like to call a start to finish practice or therapy. That's based on principles of psychology, neuroscience, of course, the brain connection, a little bit of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and of course, what's been missing in these alternative side is the tools that which we can measure on the patient's journey along the way, which we have apps and as well as a checklist to make sure that just like if you have diabetes, and you go to the doctor and you measure your sugar levels, you're making sure that your drug or your medication or your protocols are working. We have the same thing in this therapy, that we also measure the scores of the phases that you're going through until we get you to what we call the safe haven, where your body actually kicks in to heal itself. So I'm sure everybody's had the experience of some kind of cut or something on their hand, and we all know that we don't need to go run to a doctor, especially if it's a small cut. We just are sure that our innate resources will go to that cut, allow it to heal on its own. So let me talk to you today about the 3 B's. The first one is called brain training. And I would suggest everybody, if you have any pen and paper, really try this out. It really does work. It's based on neuroscience. We've seen the EEGs and different brain parts of the brain lighting up when we do this. And it's just basically, I mean, these things are very practical and can be implemented by anybody. And that's pretty much just counting from 100 to 1 backwards in the morning. So before reaching for your caffeine or your cup of coffee or something, just while you're sitting first thing in the morning in bed, just count 100 to 1 backwards. And I get a lot of people saying, well, do I count it backwards in my native language, a second language, or what is more efficient? And I say, well, when you first start with your native language, but if as soon as you're into 1 to 2 weeks, you try to use another language, might be a second language, that might not be effective because that might not be efficient, I should say, because the more difficult you make it for your brain, the more oomph and what we call the healing chemicals or the anti-inflammatory chemicals that's going to be released in the brain to allow the body to heal itself. And again, we have something called the second B, which is breathing. And I call it the 669 breathing. A lot of people are familiar with yoga and meditation, but this one's quite interesting because what we've seen is that when you take 6 breaths on the count of 6, hold on the count of 6, nourishing the body with the oxygen, and then release on the count of 9, that allows the body to take the nutrients and the healing, if you will, from the oxygen and releasing the carbon dioxide or that which is negative in the body, including things like free radicals and so on, okay? And the last one is body. And it's not about, a lot of people may think that body is taking care of exercise. Yes, of course, water, a nourishing of the body is very important. But when we're talking about fear, and when you get yourself into fear, you're releasing these cortisol inflammatory chemicals in your body. What you can do in when something to hold on to or not to get yourself really deep into negative thinking is that if, for example, I'm sitting right now and I'm having these negative fears or whatnot going on in my mind, if I simply stand up or go outside or go for that glass of water or go for a walk or something, what happens physically on the outside makes that switch or that shift that's going to happen on the inside as well. So what I have today for you guys is that I wanted to offer the audience a really special gift. I mean, I don't have the extended time, if you will. So everything that I've spoken about here is in the book, Second Chances. And I wanted to offer it to everyone today to take a free copy, read on the information. Because to be honest, a lot of people have gotten back to me and said, oh, wow, this is perfect for post-COVID, or the fear or this negative thinking or anxiety that causes really health havocs and those chronic biodisruptors that I spoke about that leads to, unfortunately, a lot of these global unfortunate diseases. Thank you.
Suggestions, and I guess that a lot of people got a great value. And I'm really want to comment here that it's not a second chance, maybe it's the last chance that you have. Because in COVID, living 1 year plus, in the home, and having a lot of things around you which you were never used to. I mean, this much time you never spend with the family, and now they came to know that that time was good when he was less at home, because more at home is not that good, So you're really and tell me, like as a suggestion to the people, there are so many programs on TV like walk in 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I mean, you can't go in COVID sometime lockdowns on the road for a walk. And you can't stop everything. So are they effective, like where you can have 30 minutes exercise, like a walk indoor? Are they really useful, or is just like a stunt?
So actually, it's quite interesting, because there was research that was done in the US with athletes. So they set up all the wires on their bodies and their mind and everything. And they measured the heart rate, the blood pressure and everything when they're actually running, for example, right? And then they had another group of people who are actually sitting, not moving, just imagining the paved way, running, feeling the steps or their feet going, touching the ground, and the impact it's making and everything. Would you believe that the numbers were the same when there were people, where the athletes were actually running? The heart rate was the same, the blood pressure was the same, everything was the same, even though they didn't physically move. So that's why it's very important with brain training. You can simply do it. We don't have to set aside 20 minutes, 50 minutes for meditation. Just counting backwards, science has shown that it releases, this is what you're looking for, is to release these happy chemicals, healing chemicals. Because guess what? If you're focused on the positive, the mind does not do two negating factors. It will not be negative and positive at the same time. Just like the sun won't come out and the moon won't come out at the same time. The same thing with your mind. So from the start of the day, in the morning, once your mind is focused on that which you can control, first of all, and stay positive, it's very difficult to go on that other pathway. That's why it gives you a lot of energy, a lot of focus, problem solving, and like we mentioned earlier, brain training to peak performance. And this is, I believe, alongside breathing. And there's a lot of Muslims, that it's actually in a hadith that shows that if you just move your body from its position, will also change the mindset, change the negative thinking into a different pathway.
Yeah, that's why they said that if you are in anger, so you walk or you sit or you drink water. So that is the hadith you may be referring to. So that's great. And what about those women who has 4 or 5 kids, and they have offices, long hours, and their bosses are very stressful, and by maybe after the lunch, their energy levels goes really down, and they start fighting with the colleagues, and when they reach home, they have fight with the husband, and they have a bad day. So for them, what is the criteria? What is the best solution? Those who are listening, you would be free of cost advice for this kind of usual scenario that we encounter with.
Right. So actually, I actually had quite a few clients. We're in Dubai, right? That actually have mashallah, have 5-6 kids. And they actually start the day all together as a family with the brain training, which is quite interesting. It brings the family closer together. They're all focused. They're all calmed down because it gives you that sense of responding rather than reacting. Because with mothers, when we become impatient, you're reacting, you're yelling, you're snapping at your kids or whatever, right? But when you respond, when you're in that calm, instead of reactive stage, you're able to teach something to the child, take the moment, and be able to calm the home. And to mention this, it's actually been proven and shown scientifically that it actually just takes 3 seconds to go from negative to positive, or from anxious or stress to calm. And if you just taken this chance and window of opportunity, whether you're using brain training, whether you're using the breathing, or just moving your body, you take back control in order to respond instead of react. And actually, there's been I forget the name of the person or the doctor. She even talks about power poses, if you will. So they even mentioned if you're going into a meeting and you're anxious or whatever, just take 5 minutes, head into a private meeting room or even the washroom and do one of those power poses to take back control, that you have the confidence and the energy. It's all mindset. It all begins with the mind. And I want to mention that if from diseases to health habits to work, career, performance, it all begins with the mind. And if you're able to take back control with your mind, I mean, you could go on so many research. Dr. Bruce Lipton and Dr. Joe Dispenza, many people that I stand on top of their shoulders that even have their own science and research. I did my for 17 years, and I came up with these simple, practical tools for everyone to use, because it doesn't take time or energy or effort.
So in conclusion, it means that anyone I see in anger, I should tell them to do some, movements, or maybe sit and take water, and it's expected that the brain power will work for them.
3 seconds, that's all you need. If you take back control, and these are hooks, these are save lines, these breathing and this brain training and this body movement is actually just for you to grab a line to get yourself out of that, which is going to lead to other things. And of course, when it goes to compound for a long time, this is where health havoc issues as well start.
I guess this is a very useful technique, and I'm going to use it tomorrow. And some of my colleagues, actually, I will advise them to do an exercise every 15 minutes. So they should not come in the high brain. That's great. Thank you very much for joining us. It's so lovely to have you. And I will request you again in another show to share more tips with our women community, because they really need it, and such kind of unusual healing techniques. Because generally, if we work 8 hours in office, and if I'm a woman, I have to handle the kid. I can't go to gym 1 hour cardio, and this, it's not meant physically possible. I mean, maybe it's not useful even, when you are really exhausted. So these kind of mental therapies, heliology, usually, which you said that. Yeah, that's a unique word.
Science of self-healing. Yeah, it is a science. It is evidence-based. Yes.
That's great. Thank you very much for joining us. You can conclude your remarks for the day.
Thank you. I welcome, and I'm very honored and privileged to have this opportunity to join such an amazing panel of speakers today. I'm very happy that I was invited on such an inspiring conference especially women, by women, for women. I really appreciate it. And I welcome everybody to join me in reading and making our peak performance at its best, and read the Second Chances at secondchances.me. And I hope it helps you guys as it helped me and my family as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And with this great insight, let's move to the next section of the day today.
Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Tamer Mutwalli, and I am the Dean of Berkeley Mee School of Management and Science. Today, I would like to explain some exciting courses for you. First of all, there's a certified CFO that we actually offer. And if you're in the financial sector, this is a great course, especially if you want to excel, or if you're into the management, or even if you're in a CFO yourself at the moment. We provide practical case studies, and these are great for you to enhance your skills. In addition to that, it's great recognition to become also a certified CFO, which you become a specialty. So that's one thing that it's really important for that course. In addition to that, we also provide a certified CEO course. So again, if you're in a management, or if you're a general manager, or if you're in a CEO currently, again, we actually provide case studies relating to this particular management, and for you to enhance your skills, especially with problem solving, strategies, etc. In addition to that, we also provide a number of other exciting courses, such as your logistics or your chain supply management, your human resources, project management, marketing. We also have law, and we have a lot of other accounting courses as well. In addition to that, we also very excited that we give you the opportunity, to not just becoming a certified CFO or CEO or certified human resource manager, but we also offer you the chance to conduct your masters with us, so we can offer that to you. It's only 12 months online to complete your masters, and once you've done that, we can also offer you to complete your doctorates as well. So we offer DPA, we also offer PhD, and we also offer international doctorates and many other types of doctorates we also offer. So if you are really interested in any of these great courses, that will give you great recognition for you, and beside the recognition, it will give you that investment to enhance your skills, something that you can take back to work and to implement and to be better professional at your workplace. So if you are actually quite interested in any of these courses, please visit our website, which is berkeleymee.org, and there's all the courses structured, laid out very well. You can have all your details. If you can just type your details on the inquiry page, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Shekha, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Musa, and good afternoon. I really would like everyone is joining to thank everyone is joining our live stream, and I would like to thank all our previous speakers. It's really an inspirational talk. I feel proud hearing all the success stories going through our speeches today.
Thank you very much. And Shekha, I saw your profile is really impressive, and you got an award from the ruler of Ajman, and you are serving an organization from last over a decade, which is shows your consistency and your progress and your leadership. So people like me always, I know you very well, but for our global audience, of course, I would request you to please formally introduce yourself.
Sure. Thank you for this introduction. Actually, my name is Sheikha Abdullah Al-Nuaimi. I'm the Executive Director of Commercial Operation at Ajman Free Zone. On a side, I'm also an entrepreneur from 6 years. I worked in Ajman Free Zone in various departments through my 13 years prior to assuming my current position. Going through this journey or my career, let's take you through this journey and career. I have started as a computer science and IT programmer in Ajman Free Zone itself. So my full career path was in this great organization, which empowered me and supported me to grow through various domains. I started through computer science and IT as a programmer, then to e-service development, going through after that the knowledge management and innovation field, ending that with a project management, which was my longest stage or milestone in Ajman Free Zone. After that, I had joined the marketing and sales as an executive director and commercial operation. I would Musa share with the audience the secret behind this journey or this various fields that I have handled in Ajman Free Zone. Through each field I have joined was a new field to me, but the secret behind this success is that I always take it serious. I take it in a strategy of strengthening my knowledge in that field. To be able to perform and be a successful and give a successful story behind establishing this new field in the organization. As you mentioned, I had get an award from Sheikh Hamid, the ruler of Ajman, which we consider him he's the inspirational father of the whole emirate, having him as Supreme Council member and ruler of Ajman. The journey behind this award was that I started the project management journey in Ajman Free Zone with the basics of project management, which I had get it from the university and from my projects in IT department. But the challenge that was created by His Highness is that if we got certified in the field, we will be awarded a medal from him himself, which everyone look for such an award. So I have worked on myself in less than a year with the basics of project management to certified PMP employee in the organization, which I was the first person certified in the organization. And that inspired a lot of other colleagues get certified after that. I had got the award from His Highness Sheikh Hamid in 2013. I moved from the project management journey to use these skills in other fields like marketing, sales, and customer relation, which I'm handling now in the top management of the organization.
This is a very, very encouraging life story. And if you write PMP videos, you will definitely find some of my videos I made for the general public to watch and get free knowledge of that. So project management is really a difficult task. It requires innovation. It requires a lot of stakeholders to be combined. And you as a leading person in Ajman Free Zone Authority doing this work, and they can visibly see that you are an expert of communication and customer relation. That reflects from your face itself. So my question is that what is your entrepreneurial journey? What is your you explain your journey, but I would like you to highlight some few things which can inspire the other women listening to you.
Definitely, Musa. As you mentioned, the journey always need a support or need an agenda behind that. So being in the field of marketing and sales and customer relation, I was keen to know how our customers feels and what they struggle and what's their challenge. So I took a stage to be an entrepreneur, to feel what the business need and to understand what our customers need. I started the business since 6 years, knowing the struggles behind starting a business. Thank God that UAE is one of the easiest countries in doing business. So the challenge wasn't in the government process itself, but the challenge comes in the supply chain or how to complete all the other processes needed from hiring the staff, buying the materials and all that. By the way, I do have a bakery and I'm so proud to have the first international branch of this brand as it is a franchised brand. On the other hand, Musa, I would like to share with the audience here the thoughts that I always think about when I participate in any event or workshop or a conference or a training, let's say. So I always ask myself, how did I get here? So by asking this question or of how I get here to this event, such a question create a confidence taking me through my journey since I was born until this moment. So I have born and raised in a family and a country which equality is a fact, taking in consideration the respect of each gender, of course. In the UAE, our women, as you know, women plays roles in the society and community, serving different interests and aspects. So according to the recent report released by the World Economic Forum, entitled Global Gender in UAE, UAE has been one of the top in the Middle East and Northern region country, closing the gap of 64% between gender equality. So we always in UAE feel supportive when it comes to government work, private sectors, and even being an entrepreneur. So this support give us that confidence and try to convert every challenge into an opportunity. This is what making us always feeling supportive from when it comes from our leaders, our family members, and our team members also.
I think UAE is one of the blessed countries, and as per my research and studies, I found that the UAE is actually leading the women empowerment. The max number of women are in parliament. You have a youth minister, she is a female, and no one is even close to it. I can say that, and maybe this is the vision of your leadership, which is now the first thing is to reach to excellence. The second is to inspire the other nations. I think that the leader like you should be a voice for the global women and pushing them to come in politics and go in the parliaments and make laws, rules, regulations which can help them to grow. Because I found this is only the missing in the women in developing countries, that they have learned how to live suppressed, how to live without facilities, without no crying. This is really, really a very critical situation, which actually bothers me a lot. I want our women from developing countries should raise the voice, should come in the parliament, and life can change in 10 to 15 years. As we saw transformation in UAE last 30 years. Things are really, really different, and things are moving very fast. So I would like to ask you that what is your journey with the Ajman Free Zone, and how it relates, how Ajman Free Zone and you help women in their business journeys.
So mostly in Ajman Free Zone, we can translate the support to two sections. One section when it comes to the employees themselves. We always, through the policies and the initiative that is launched in Ajman Free Zone, we always consider the support and the empowerment to the team members. We have a huge number of women as a directors, executive directors, employees in different fields and every department. Following me in my speech, my colleague also Bashair will be joining, and it's also one of the top managements in Ajman Free Zone. When it comes to the employees, we definitely doesn't deal as a feminist. I don't only support my team members from women's. I feel proudly also supporting men, because I know behind the story or behind the journey of every man, there is a mother that needs to feel proud of her son. There is a wife that need to feel proud of her husband, and there is definitely a daughter which will be proud of her dad. So I always support my team when it comes to, as my previous speakers mentioned, Aisha, that when we support our members, we support who's solid in skills, who try to develop himself, who's looking to really give an image of a professional and successful team member. So this of empowerment, we have been taking it from our funding fathers in this country to support anyone looking to develop his country and his job. When it comes to serving our investors, as a philosophy in Ajman Free Zone, we serve our investors in their business needs, regardless they are a lady, they are a man, they are even we say with special needs, because our target is always to serve people with 6-star services. It's not only because giving priority for women's or men's, there is a certain strategy behind that. So we serve them all on a high standard. We encourage them to do their business. We work as an advisor for them to start their business. I feel so proudly when I shake hands with women starting their career path in small companies, and then they start to talk about their success story, and they are now leading a well-known brand in Ajman Free Zone. Whenever you go and visit any company in Ajman Free Zone, you will find a woman behind the success, proudly saying that either in their management team member or in one of the specialty fields like engineers or programmers, or even when it goes to textile field, you will find them in the designing and in preparing this type of materials. I feel so proudly seeing women in the management of the companies, heading as an owner of the companies, and seeing even women as a laborers in these companies, working with very technical jobs, and their smiles are on their faces. This is always feeling so nice, Musa. I really invite you to come even to Ajman Free Zone and try with me this journey and this piece.
Thank you very much for your invitation. And I want to endorse you a few things that you highlighted. Because I have two legs in terms of business. My businesses are in UAE and in Saudi Arabia and in UK, Europe, Canada, and America. I do myself. So, and over the decade, I have experience. So I remember when I was comparing first time in 2006, 2007, maybe 8, that time, there was a global recession when this mortgage scandal started from America, and it was a global recession in 2 years. So when I used to compare the cost, that if I take a local sponsor, if I take this and if I take this, and some of my international friends and clients, they were not quite in a favor to have a partner, even as a silent partner who has no stake. But they say, look, in Europe, in US, we do our businesses by ourselves. So why to involve someone? Where Ajman Free Zone was that time, and even still now, was the solution, who comes up with a free zone ideology where you can own it. And it was very economical also. I guess now you are facing a lot of competition because there are a lot free zones, and some of the heads are my friends too, and I also interview them like you. So, but it's a healthy competition. Every competition leads towards an excellence. So some are good in this and some are in good. Maybe Media City, you can go to a Media City zone and the other zone. How about the international growth? Like, because in the countries I mentioned, Canada, UK, US, I meet so many people, they are really interested to do business, but they don't know anything about free zones and all that. Maybe there is some product can be developed for international markets or you have already developed that product. This is, I don't know. But my suggestion will always to take it, open your international offices, and get a larger pool of investors in Ajman Free Zone. I will request you for your closing remarks for the day.
Sure. Moza, just adding on your points, really in UAE we have more than 45 free zone that is established, and we try to complete each other's. Each has its unique selling points, and each one has its specialized product that they give it to their client. Most of the free zones are on affordable packages. We don't compete on prices or on that packages, but compete on the strategic location and how we serve our client in the best. As you mentioned, our clients are international, so we do have different languages, team member who can work as an advisor. We also work highly with our representatives in all over the world. With their own offices. So we don't establish our office. We tie an agreement to support and empower and make this private entities more solid. So we welcome everyone just to join us in Ajman Free Zone. We'll take care of them, especially through this nice event. Concluding my speech, Musa, I really like once again to thank you and thank your teams in Berkeley. I appreciate this invitation from your side, looking to meet always, even face to face here in UAE. I really would like to be this platform to inspire women in their career path, give them an advice, and hope that I did inspire them in such a platform. I'm there in anywhere, and in my LinkedIn even. Feel happy anyone to get in touch. Let's talk, let's support each other, let's share advices, and thank you again for who joined. Wishing you a good evening, wishing you a good evening even with my next colleague also, Bashayr. She's my colleague in Ajman Free Zone, and she's one of my close friends also.
That's amazing. You are yourself an inspiring woman, and your thoughts are very, very enlightening to all the global audience. And honestly, I have so many questions to ask, but time does not permit. And maybe I will request you another time to join and enlighten the global people how to come to Ajman, make a company. And of course, because this is a woman event, so I would always request all the stakeholders to give some discounts to the women on a normal package and get them into Ajman and help them to grow, which is you actually are already doing.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you, Musa, and good evening for all of you.
Thank you very much for joining. With this, we will move towards our next speaker. Good evening, Bashar. How are you doing today?
Good evening.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I was
live from Ajman, right?
Sorry?
Live from Ajman. You are in Ajman right now.
Yes.
That's great. So let's start our formal discussion. Would you like to introduce yourself in your words? That's always looks nice.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Musa, for hosting us today. It's a really pleasure and very inspirational talks since early this evening. I'm Bashar Al-Kmeiti. I'm let's describe it in my words. I'm a very passionate, successful woman who worked in different fields, but I focused on strategy, business development, project management, and quality. I am a new entrepreneur and startup in my business.
Wow.
So next year, maybe I will talk about a successful businesswoman.
Oh, that's great. I think starting a business itself shows a success symptoms. I was saying that starting a business itself shows a successful woman. So we don't need to wait to say you are a successful businesswoman.
Yes. Yes. I'm currently the executive director of strategy and business development in Ajman Free Zone. So yeah, let's start.
That's great. So today's event is about most inspiring Arab women, and you are the most inspiring because you inspire your country, your people. You recognize yourself with your great effort and your beliefs. So I would request you to please share with the global audience that how a woman can be successful in her work, in her family, and in her business. What do you think?
I believe the successful woman should balance all of this to call her a successful woman. Sometimes the balance cannot be in at the same time, but definitely it will happen. At our early stages, or when we started our journey, it was a bit hard to balance. But when you get mature in life and get these lessons, you try to and started to learn how to balance things. Not 100%, but you can do it.
Yeah, you're right that with passage of time, we learn things. We try to balance between personal life, professional life, and when we deal with colleagues, we learn how they think, how we need to adjust according to them, and what adjustment they do in the teams, and which you have successfully done, and you are at the top at the moment. So, if any young woman is watching you, what is your message? What is your advice for them?
Just follow your passion.
Follow
your
That's
passion.
So good.
And every woman in our society nowadays have the chance and the opportunity to stand out, to take this opportunity and stand out. Our leaders now in, let's say, I will talk about my country, in UAE and the globe as well, are supporting the both genders to be successful and to be leading in their the multi-discipline in sports, in any type of interest they are interested in. So if you are looking to, if you have a passion, just follow your passion and stand out.
That's good. How about hard work? How about smart work? How about management? Is this also very necessary factors in the success?
Definitely. I believe maybe the first level of success is knowledge. The knowledge is very powerful. You have to be with a good knowledge in different fields. In each field that you want to master in it, just get the right knowledge, get the right tools, get the right people around you. As a leader, I need to have the right team, and I could create the right team. They might be not the right people, but I could create the right people from these people.
That's amazing. Like this is leaders believe in herself. I can see that you have a belief that whoever you pick and choose, you put them into a system, you will be able to get the success, and that's a really amazing thought.
Definitely, yeah. I believe that every employee has that ability to turn into the right people, the right person in his field, if he has the right knowledge and passion to learn. It's not like the 100% of people can do this, but the right people and the people with great passion and knowledge can do it.
That's amazing. In terms of project management, what you believe that what makes you a successful project manager?
Project management is one of my expertise and nice fields that I work in, and I'm working currently voluntarily with UAE Project Management Institute UAE branch. So we are handling all the activities around UAE to improve and to support the knowledge of project management under the supervision of Project Management Institute. The head office is located in US. So the project management can be a lifestyle. To manage the projects and to manage your time and resources, project management gives you the belief that there is a great outcome will come at the end of each project. So just focus on keep yourself in the same or the right scope, following the right timeline, using your and utilize your resources to get the right output from this project and the correct outcome that you are looking for.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right.
Yeah, in project management, we have a lot of quotes. One of them is about the project scope, that you have to take care of your project scope to not fall into scope creep. So in our life, in our daily operations, if we don't focus on the outcome, we will reach to a different output, which is not the one you are looking for. So just focus and utilize your resources right.
You're absolutely right that we should have a proper plan, then we should organize the resources, we develop a budget, and then we execute it. We have a better human resource, and then we have a better execution. Yeah, true, you're right. Yeah, right. Why it is very important to discuss, because I saw a lot of women who want to be a businesswoman, but they are very weak in the knowledge of project management, because business is like a project. So they have
Yes.
a very good idea sometimes, but they don't know about the money part. They are weak in accounting. They are good at marketing. So they have created a very beautiful LinkedIn, Facebook. They are promoting. But when you discuss with them, is it sustainable? Do you have enough cash flow? Will you be in the market after 3 years? They will say, we never thought about it.
Yeah, I had the chance to know many people with the same description that you are discussing. But I believe, Musa, that everyone has strengths and weaknesses, but we can get the right people to help us in our weaknesses. One of our previous speakers talked about the how to establish the businesses. I think Miss Leila, she was at the beginning of this evening. The smartness is to pick the right people to be in your business to help you to establish your business right from the beginning. It's not about just depending on yourself and I will do everything. It's usually the team or the right resources creates the success in your project or in your business as well. So
you're absolutely right. I can endorse this point.
Yeah, along in our journey, we should use this people who is available, and they can cross our roads. So to use them and take the benefits from these people.
You're absolutely right. I can endorse this point that it's not only to get a trade license and say I am a businesswoman. That's okay. This is the ABC. But retaining this license, renewing it over the year is dependent on a proper plan, which is, I mean, in a broader term, we can say a project management means where is your strategy, your operational plans, your technical plans. This all will combine your success as a businesswoman. And I can see your great role in that as a Juman Free Zone, that you always work around the type of investor. It's not that just anyone come and take a license. We need to make sure that are they really qualified, genuine business people, and they will grow with the zone as well, because that's really important. So that's great. I think I would request you for your closing remarks for the day.
I think the signal is have something. Can you just tell me?
Okay, so can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I would request you for your closing remarks for the day.
Yeah. I was listening to the most of my colleagues and take some notes to use them in my future speeches or talks and come back to them to discuss it again and again. I need to tell everybody and the guests who are attending the day today with us to close this evening that our current environment is a bit challenging than the last year or the year before. So we have to make sure and be very careful in taking this type of decisions and in which way we will take these decisions. We have to study to scan the environment around us. Every situation is different. So every situation needs a special type of solution and type of work we need to follow. But I believe if you find the opportunity, just take it, just grab it, and stand out.
That's amazing. I think your message is very clear.
And one of my favorite quotes is, if your dreams don't scare you, you are not, it's not a big enough dream to follow. So
Wow, that's amazing.
you have to be scared from your, if you are facing any opportunity or uncertainty, think about it. If it keeps telling you no and don't, and if you feel that you are a little scared, go for it.
That's amazing. I think we say that if you're born poor, this is not your fault. But if you die poor, this is extremely your fault.
Exactly.
Same way.
Exactly.
Same way, if your dreams are not enough to scare you, then you need to increase the power of dreams, because dreams are really important. First, we see the dreams and then we work around to make them success.
And the key lesson is, yeah, and keep pushing yourself out of your comfort zone.
This is really important.
Yeah, your comfort zone will kill you.
I think that's difference between successful person and an unsuccessful person is breaking the comfort zones.
Yes.
I saw a lot of people are in the comfort zone, so they can do better and better, but because they are in comfort zone, so they couldn't reach to that level of glory which they deserve.
Yes, because when you are out of your comfort zone, you can see things better. You can see it in different way. You can find better solutions. But when you are in comfort zone, you will keep using the same solutions for the same problems, which will not solve the root cause. But when you are out of your comfort zone, you will try to find the better solution to solve the root cause, to not repeat the same problem.
That's amazing advice. I think these advices, if anyone listening will take, the success is their destination.
Yes.
With this, I want to thank you very much for joining us live from Ajman, and I'm looking forward to have you more in my shows in the future.
Sure. Thank you very much. I would like to thank you once again and extend my great appreciation and thanks for the guests of tonight and the organizers. Thank you for hosting us, and wish to see you soon, inshallah.
Thank you very much, and pleasure is all mine. With this, we will move forward to almost the closing. All the speakers are really inspiring. These are the inspiring Arab women, Arab region, especially UAE is dynamic. They have dynamic women and men talent, of course, because the show is more focused on women. So women is the asset of this region. And as more women will come in the leadership, in the businesses, in jobs, you will see that the economy and the society will see more peace, harmony, prosperity, and growth, because the woman is committed, hardworking, focused, and dynamic, innovative, and creative. These are the creations. The God has planted these features in our women, and these characteristics are. It's a need of art that we should utilize them, build them. We should try to give them a free education, free healthcare. We should respect them. We should give them their women rights. Let them marry. Let them decide what they want to do within the cultural aspect. That's for sure. But give them a freedom to live within their prescribed parameters, where she get a free education, where she want to join a job, let them do jobs, because healthy and healthy healthcare and education will create a healthy women, which will build a nation. Always remember that the woman is the one who build the nations, because women bring a son and a daughter. And if woman is capable, she's innovative, she's creative, she has leadership abilities, she has a strategic vision, the son and daughters will carry this vision. So with this, I want to thank all of my participants, the team, the Berkeley Middle East and the Berkeley Global and Berkeley Me and Musa Sheikh Foundation to work to those who work hard to make this even possible. And I'm looking forward to see you in my next shows very soon. Till then, take care of yourself wherever you are. Stay blessed and stay happy and keep taking care of yourself.